Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about protecting and monetizing your image and intellectual property rights in representing professional athletes. As you can see from our first PowerPoint slide, we have examples from the world of tennis. Maria Sharapova in the upper left-hand corner, the Mannings, both of them, and the Williams sisters in the upper right-hand corner. The bottom, we see Peyton Manning and his famous Papa John's commercial, and Tiger Woods, of course, as well as a Nike in the lower left. As we go forward throughout this course, though, we have to understand how does an agent come to represent, or the attorney come to represent, these intellectual property rights in sports when they are dealing with a superstar, a celebrity like we've just seen on our first PowerPoint slide. That starts, of course, with the representation agreement. The representation agreement is a fairly complicated agreement. There are threshold issues where the athlete and the agent need to decide on a number of things. Are we going to have what sorts of introductory paragraphs are we going to have? What kinds of recitals? But perhaps most importantly, what is going to be the scope of the representation agreement? This is going to be for off-field marketing opportunities. This is going to be perhaps something that talks about exclusivity or not in various categories of representation. So what product endorsement categories will the attorney draft for the agent to represent the superstar celebrity client in as they go forward? As you can see, after the introductory paragraph and the scope of the representation agreement, we'll talk about what types of income will the agent be able to commercialize, to monetize for the superstar athlete. So you'll want to define what sorts of income the agent will be able to commission or receive remuneration for obtaining in various categories of the representation agreement that we have just defined. We'll also want to define the compensation to the agent. How will the income be commissioned? Will there be an evergreen for commission, so to speak? I will forever commission the Nike deal that I did for Maria Sharapova, or will it only be those that are executed during the term? Will it be those that I substantially negotiate during the term? And perhaps it'll only be quantum merit, which would mean that the value of that which I have done for you before an agreement would have been executed during a term. Expenses is another important category. Who will be responsible for which expenses throughout the term of the representation agreement? That has to be made very clear. More and more importantly, the internet domain names, website-related costs has to be worked out. Who will be authorized to obtain the athlete's internet domain names? Who will pay for the registration of same? And also, the athlete will want to grant to the agent the right to use the athlete's name, voice, likeness, image, his publicity rights, her publicity rights in connection with promoting the athlete for purposes of income-producing opportunities. Certainly, disclosures of potential conflicts of interest through the representation of other clients and the staging of other events is an important disclosure that's consistent with the fiduciary duties and the duties of loyalty that the agent has to his celebrity client. If you do not disclose such conflicts, as our next PowerPoint bullet point makes clear, there may be the undoing of an otherwise healthy athlete-agent relationship. There could even be fraud in the inducement in the worst cases for failure to disclose self-interest in a deal, perhaps an investment deal where there's money coming back to the agency and the client was not told of that at the inception of the relationship. The next most important clause, perhaps, is the term of the agreement. How long will this exclusive representation agreement exist? In which categories? It's heavily negotiated depending upon the stage of the athlete's career. It could be anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 years. For sure, you're going to want to have escape clauses both ways if and when there have been misrepresentations coming into the agreement, either by the athlete or the agent himself or herself. Dispute resolution, mediation, and arbitration clauses. Best practice would be a confidential dispute resolution procedure. Nobody likes to have any of their dirty linen aired in this very small, really hermetically sealed environment that we call representing professional athletes. Resolving differences out of the public eye is generally recommended as the best practice when there are disputes over trailing commissions or commissionability of a particular deal.